Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions podcast. Man, you guys, I recorded like 4 episodes, bro, and them shit done got corrupted and all type of bullshit. But I'm grateful because it probably wasn't supposed to come out. You feel me? But I was just really just chopping it up with you guys on those episodes, but it wasn't really nothing you guys like missed out on, to be honest. But I have like a vault of like episodes that I don't release. Like I have at least like 15 to 20 podcast episodes I have yet to give you guys. That's just because like sometimes when I do podcasts, I go off the feeling. Like this is unscripted. You get me? And when I come on these podcasts, people ask me, hey, do you have like a script? Do you have like show notes that you do? And honestly, I don't. Like I'm just a natural born speaker. Like I've always been speaking my whole life. I've been a great communicator. And, it took a lot to get here. It took a lot because I wasn't this person 3 years ago. And, today's Easter Sunday. I don't celebrate Easter Sunday or nothing like that, but I do like Sundays in totality because I feel like it's the beginning of a new week. It's a fresh start. And with that being said, like I want you guys to really take pride on the things that you accomplished in your life, the things that you're aiming for, and the things that you overcame. Because, like I mentioned, 3 years ago, I was in a whole different headspace. I was a whole different guy. If you guys listen to my first episode, my God, I was rushing, I was speeding, and in that past, I was still looking for who was Moise Bertrand, like who am I? And over time, I gradually got to know myself, got to know my likes, got to know my dislikes, and everything I like presumed as me. It took a lot of work, though. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of trial and error, and it took a lot of hurt. It took a lot of, just a lot of overcoming of things that people don't understand. But I speak for the masses when I say we all go through things. Like I feel like people who try to seem like they're so perfect that you lying to yourself. And I don't really care about like if you're not showing that to the outside world. But what I'm saying is you're acting like you're too good to share a story with somebody that you feel like could like learn. I be telling dudes all the time, yeah, I got hurt by people I fucked with, Yeah, I got backstabbed by people I was cool with. Yeah, I got bad business. Yeah, I could tell niggas everything, But you're never going to experience it until you actually put yourself in that motion. But I'm okay with sharing my story with certain people with all people, to be honest, because I feel like I'm not someone who cares about how people judge me or anything. I'm really a nonchalant dude. I don't give a fuck. But I give a fuck about the things I give a fuck about, if that makes sense. And that's cool because not everybody gets that side of me. Some people get the lovey-dovey side of me. Some people get the bad side of me. It just depends on how you treat me. But I go with everybody and I treat them with respect initially. But like I said, it took me a lot of maturity. It took a lot of realization. It took a lot of self-improvement, a lot of inner healing to get me to this maturity standpoint to be able to dialect and be able to speak to you guys in this tone of voice, in this pace of voice, in this level of wiseness. I feel like wisdom that I be giving out, it took a lot. And a lot comes from experience. But that's why tomorrow and today is a beautiful day because today we can start. You can start with something different today. 3 years ago, I didn't know what I wanted to be. My environment was confusing me. The people I had around was confusing me. And certain things that I always wanted to get out of life, it seemed so far distant because I wasn't letting it come in because I wasn't definite about what I wanted. I had a conversation with my homegirl, right? And like you guys as well, like people listen to my podcast. Like you guys listen to my podcast and people come back and report the things that I say on my podcast to me like I didn't say it. You feel me? And it's funny because sometimes the people who come back and tell me certain things, they only point out the negative about what I say. Like, oh, bro, I didn't know you. Oh, she cut up your jacket. Like, listen, a lot of people understand, like, I'm a very transparent person. I want people to realize that about me. Like, I don't want people to feel like Moise is ever going to hold nothing back. If I hold something back from you, it's because I care enough to not tell you at that very moment. You get me? Because it's certain things that I could tell people that people may not understand at the very moment because they're not ready for that truth. And there's certain people I would inadvertently just tell them, boom, you need to stop fucking around because you about to be fucked up, bro. You feel me? I could tell certain people that because they're understanding that truth that I'm telling them, I need them to work on that. But some people I hold back the truth on. And I kind of get upset when people listen to my podcast and they try to like revolve that around my life. You know, I have certain people who try to study my podcast, like on some real shit, you guys. Like I have people who try to study my podcast. I have people who try to duplicate the same thing I do. And when I say study, I mean, who am I as a person, like my human nature. I had women try to do that, bro, like try to come in my life. And I'm like, this podcast is not for you to like use against me. This podcast is for you to understand me because I'm not changing for you. You feel me? So I don't want you changing for me because eventually I'm going to sniff it out. You know, I'm a very intuitive person. I tell people all the time, if I don't last with you in a friendship, if I don't last with you in a relationship, it's because my intuition already told me what type of person you are, you know? And there's some people I could meet and I felt like I met them for like, I knew them for life. Like it's some Scorpios. Like I feel like I really am great friends with like Scorpios and Capricorns, those type of people. And I'm not someone who's just going to go automatically to like Zodiacs and say this type of person I work with. Pisces as well. But what I'm saying is, it's certain level of people that I could just work with that understands me and I understand them. So we could have those type of conversations. And then some people that I tell certain truths to, they may take it as me being mean or me being too critical, which is cool because I'm here to teach you that not everybody's here to just sugarcoat you and shit. Not everybody's here to like kiss your ass. Like I'm one of those dudes who's very transparent. And I had that from the minute I was growing up. I used to get suspended a lot, in trouble a lot of fights because people that understand, like my teacher used to say, your mouth gonna get you in trouble, your mouth gonna get you punched in the mouth. I was like, nah, to be honest, that's my throat chakra, you know? And what I was saying to people wasn't disrespectful. What I was saying to people wasn't sarcastic. I just have a witty way of saying things that people just catch and just be like, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? And I'm like, I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm just saying this is what it is. And, you know, some people that's repulsive to. Some people can't speak up. Some people can't say what's on their mind. Some people can't say, you know, what's really going on in their life. And I'm okay with saying, bro, I used to be fucked up. I used to be broke as fuck. I used to be depressed. Well, when I say depressed, I'm not saying like depressed. I'm saying like mentally exhausted, mentally exhausted, bro. Like this fatigue. And at points of time, I just felt like giving up. And I tell people like I'm able to relate to so many people because when I was in the airport, right, recently, I moved around a little bit. I went to Chicago. And like I'm a person who I have a natural aura. You know, people are attracted to me naturally. And that's a good and bad thing, you know, because people, they try to trauma dump on me. They try to, like, I'm a natural healer. Like, people come around me, they know Mo is a cool guy. Like, he has a peaceful energy. He's real cool. Like, he's laid back. But he understands you and I understand him. Like, it's like some crazy dynamic connection people usually describe to me how I am. And I take that like I'm blessed enough to be able to be that person for certain people. But when I say my aura attracts everybody, it kind of makes me discern, you know, because a lot of people come into my life, but they only hear and they only see what I'm doing, right? They don't know Moist. They don't know Moist is a very spiritual person. They don't know Moist is a very intuitive person. They don't know Moist is a very calculated person. They don't know these things. So when certain people come in my life thinking that, oh, he just another guy, you know, that's I'm about to just try to simp out of and I'm trying to finesse, they're going to have a rude awakening. So when I went to Hartsfield International Airport when I was traveling to Chicago, 3 different occasions, well, 4 really. The first one was the bartender. She was bad. And when I say bad, I'm talking about she was from Ethiopia. Like, God damn, I would go back to the airport. I would catch a flight just to go see her again. You feel me? Like, she was just pretty and stuff like that. Like, I was like, God damn, you feel me? But me and her were just naturally just kicking it. And at one point in time, like, I was always afraid to speak to women and stuff like that because I was vulnerable. I felt like I wasn't confident. And I just felt like I wasn't really into my looks to talk to women like how I wanted to talk to women, you know? But now I just naturally go around and I just talk to women. I just, you know, spark a conversation. I'm like, listen, your dress, it looks amazing. I don't know where you got it from, but it looks amazing. The smile that these women just start on their faces, like, boom, like, oh, shit, he noticed me. You feel me? But most of the time when I'm out, people notice me, and I kind of catch people looking at me, so I look at them again. You know, I look them in the eyes. And for this specific bartender, I'm going to give you guys, like, all the occasions that happened. For her, she was more so like, I felt like I knew her, But at the same time, I felt like she was just trying to create a facade. And that's where I tell people, like, I'm very intuitive. I don't know if I'm a psychic or some shit. I don't know, bro. It's just like I know people. Like, I just know people. Like, the minute I come around people, I just know your intentions. I know you. Like, I know what you're thinking about. It's on some weird shit. I don't know if the mushrooms did that to me, because when I used to take a lot of mushrooms, and I still do, not every day. Like, I take mushrooms like probably twice a year, but I do it for a spiritual transformation. The mushrooms open my mind to everybody else's thoughts. So I don't know if that was something that still stays in my reality, which I feel like it did. But I kind of know people. And for this specific bartender, I got the energy of, like, she wanted to speak to me, but she had to be professional because obviously she's at work. But she was engaged in a conversation with me to a point where she kind of forgot about the other people that was at the end of the table. And she wanted to talk to me, right? She wanted to speak to me because I was like, what else do you like doing? Do you like working this job? She was like, yeah. And I looked at her. I said, do you honestly like working this job? She was like, yeah, but. I was like, there's a but. She started laughing. I was just like, what else do you want to do in life? She was just like, honestly, I just want to, like, I don't know, but, this is cool for right now. I was like, I was like, you just got to be afraid of, like, admitting it. You got to be afraid. You got to stop being afraid of embracing that I don't know, because you do know. And I was telling her, you have different choices that come across your heart and mind, right? She was like, yeah, I think about certain things. I was like, what sticks out to you the most? She was like, modeling. And I was like, so there you go. She was like, but I can't make no money from it. I'm like, why did you tell yourself that already? She was like, I just don't know. I said, you don't know, or you just have to find out more? She was like, I have to find out more. I was like, there you go. I was like, you just got to change your perspective on things, because you could be modeling for a small apparel company here in Atlanta. You live in Atlanta. You bad. You get me? Like, you could do that. And I was giving her that conversation, and she said, I appreciate you. And my line brother, he seen me, and then he was like, man, you hilarious, bro. And I was like, yeah, you feel me? I have a natural way of just making people feel comforted. So I'm cool, and boom. So I just let her vibe out. I'm not the type of dude who gonna chase women. I just let them vibe out. So she go back to work, boom. So I'm back at my laptop. I have my laptop with me just doing some work. And this lady on the left of me, she was like in her 40s, late 40s. She was from Cleveland. And she was like, you look famous. And I was like, no, I'm just a regular guy. Well, I said, I'm not a regular guy. Well, I ain't trying to say I'm a regular guy, but I was just saying, no, I'm not famous. You feel me? She was like, nah, you lying to me. You are famous and stuff like that. Like, and she pointed at my line brother. She was like, you know him? Like, he is famous, huh? What's his name? And I was like, I'll give you my Instagram name, but ma'am, I'm not famous. I think you have me confused. She was like, nah, you look like somebody I know. I just don't know. But I'm gonna look, because it's on my feed somewhere. And she was just saying that the whole time. And it was funny because that wasn't the first time that people said that to me. Like, people came up to me and was like, where do I know you from somewhere? You look famous. You're a famous guy. And I feel like the energy that I embody, I embody that Empress King-like energy. You feel me? That aura that people are just captivated by, that people just seem like, damn, who is this guy? I have beautiful glowing skin. I take care of myself. I'm a very well-spoken man, and I'm well-mannered and well-dressed. So when people see me, they run across a guy who'll be like, damn, this dude, what the fuck? You only 25, bro. I need to know more about you. Like, what the fuck do you do? You feel me? So I'm talking to her, and I'm chopping it up, and all of a sudden, she started dropping a bomb on me like, oh, you pretty handsome, though. I'm like, here we go again. You feel me? But I was just fucking with it because I was drunk, and then it was just a funny moment, and I was like, I'm entertain this lady, So I'm talking to her, I'm chopping it up with her. She's like, you're really handsome and stuff. You have some really beautiful eyes, and I was like, I appreciate you. And she was just like, where you guys headed? And I told her blah blah blah, and then she ended up telling me that her son wanted to get into real estate, and I ended up getting her card. And then I'm gonna go ahead and forward that out to her and just be like, hey, listen, let's reconnect. But it was the fact that she was one of those people who I understood her assignment wasn't to like be like trying to hit on me. Her assignment was, I see these two guys at the bar. One of them look good. I'm gonna speak to him, and I'm just gonna make conversation because I'm an older woman here. I'm just having a good time. So obviously she wanted to like chop it up a little bit more after, but I just didn't give her that benefit. I just kind of kept it professional. But I always run into women like that. My age, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, like it happens all the time. And I ask myself, why is that? And I have to conclude that I'm just a very inviting person. Not in a, oh, hey, how was your name? Like, people sit by me, they be like, you smell good, bro. Like, I'm like, oh, what's up? You feel me? Like, they be like, what's your name? I'm like, oh. But it's just like, I'm not someone who embodies that negativity. So when you sit by somebody, you be like, this person, They don't want me to sit by them. You feel me? I'm a person like I'll scoot over. You feel me? So that lady, we chopped it up. I got her card. Boom, she went off to where she went off to. The third lady was a lot more. What's the word? She was a lot more straightforward. Straightforward, straight to the point. It kind of scared me a little bit because I was like, "Who are you? Do I know you?" So she sat right next to me, on the right hand side of me. And, the bartender lady came and casually was looking at me. I'm looking at her. We making eye contact, but I'm letting her know, like, listen, I'm not this type of guy. I'm not talking to these women like this. I want to talk to you. You feel me? So she looking at me. I catch her side out of me a little bit when I'm speaking to this lady, when I'm speaking to that lady. She looking at me, and I'm like, man, this don't look good because we all here just having a drink, but it looks like I'm like trying to flirt with them. Blah, 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 whatever. So this lady sat next to me, and then she ended up like telling me, listen, you have some really pretty lips. And she just looked at me, and I'm like, I feel like you're sick, lady. You're like 60 years old. You feel me? And like I'm just looking at her like, are you like I couldn't fathom what she just said. I'm looking at her like, are you talking to me? She was like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, I appreciate it. I didn't want to be disrespectful when I really appreciate you. And, I got to say it in a very low tone. I really appreciate you. And I had to look at her. And then she's like, She's like, I might need another drink. So she get her a drink. She's like, do you want a drink? I said, nah, I'm really not a drinker. For everybody who knows me, I hate drinking, bro. I hate it. Unless it's like casual drinking, which I have to be forced to drink. Like, people know, bro, get a drink, bro. You always want to drink water, and you always want to drink some, like, I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll drink. So she talking about, you need to drink some more. I'm like, nah, I'm not. I'm about to catch a plane anyways. I'm cool. She's like, listen, you need a drink. I'm like, I'm okay. So when we started chopping it up, she let me know her age, were her late 60s, blah, blah, blah. And I was learning a lot from her because she was like, you know what? Like, a lot of dudes your age, they're not really focused on, like, what you're focused on. And I was like, I appreciate it. She was like, no, really, because is this hard? It's hard to have a lot of things going on, and life could catch you off balance. And I was like, I was learning from her because, like I said, my mom's the same, almost older than this lady, but she's around the same age as my damn mom. So everything she's telling me, I just already heard it, but I'm just taking it from another person. So she was like, yeah, man, just focus on yourself and everything like that. But what's your name? Where you going? You going where I'm going? And I'm like, where you going? She told me, yeah, she going over there. I'm like, okay. So she ended up getting my number, right? I'm thinking, okay, I just give this lady my number because I'm drunk. I don't really want to care about, like, giving this lady my number. She texts me that same day, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. Are you in town? I'm like, I'm not going to text you back because this is not what I do. But I appreciate the lesson and blessings that you gave me when I was in your presence, And I'm a type of person, like, I look at life like you have to take pride on certain things that you're able to, like, say about yourself. I'm a very handsome man. I'm very financially free, independent. I'm traveling the world. I'm doing the things that I love. People look up to me and then they're inspired about the things I do, by the work I do. I'm him. I say these affirmations every day, every morning. It's on my vision board. It's on my mirror. It's everywhere that you can walk in my house and see something that's going to represent me as a person is there. Don't let no obstacles feel like you can't really overcome them because you can overcome everything. So at one point, like I said, I wasn't this person 3-4 years ago. I was a very immature man. I wasn't into my looks. I feel like I'm finally growing into my looks, my voice, my thought process, my business acumen, just the things that I very much valued and seen in myself and, manifested is actually here. But it took work to get here. I've been an entrepreneur for like 5-6 years, you guys. This isn't something that happened overnight. This isn't something I'm teaching you guys from the top of my brain. Like, this is something I really experienced. So when I tell people stop bullshitting me, you can't bullshit me. You feel me? People try to come around and try to bullshit me. I'm like, bro, I know bullshitters because I've been around bullshitters. That's why I end up moving around, because I understand the assignment is not to be given to bullshitters. It's only to be given to people who are actually going to complete it. And, in my whole entirety life, like, I always took pride in just, like, the things that I believed in. Like, guys should, like, really just take care of their woman. Guys should just not let go 50-50. Like, I don't want to go 50-50 with a woman I love because you're going to give me something else, whether it's kids, whether it's happiness, whether it's a home, where it's comfort, where it's stability. Well, I'm not saying you're going to provide stability for me, but what I'm saying is the comfort, the reassurance, the love. Those are the certain things that I feel like people just, they overlook in life. And society really drew people away from each other instead of bringing people in. Because now it's a whole gender war and all this bullshit. And there's just a lot of people who don't understand, like, the things that we're putting into our brain constantly, you guys, the things you think about, it ends up manifesting. So you saying, oh, this is this and that, these guys ain't shit, women ain't shit. That's what your life is going to be about. That's what your life is going to eventually manifest into. You're going to keep running into the same problems. Dudes ain't shit, women ain't shit. You feel me? You're going to keep getting the same situation. But it's not until you change your environment, your thought process, your belief, the way you actually interact with yourself, with your mindset. You only have one thing to remember. Keep positive images and affirmations in your mind, because things could turn around in the blink of an eye. 3 years ago, I didn't know where I was going to be at today. I didn't know I was going to be living in Atlanta in my dream apartment, doing what I love and just being financially free and just being an entrepreneur, just being independent. I didn't know these things were possible because I never really got. When I say financially free, I'm not saying like I'm a millionaire or anything. I'm just saying like I'm able to pay my bills off my creativity. I'm able to take care of my livelihood based off just the things I love doing, my happiness. And that's fulfillment to me. A lot of people don't like their lives. A lot of people are dreading their lifestyle. I love it. I wake up every day and I could do the same thing for the next 70, 80, 100 years. I don't care how long I live. I could do this real estate shit, marketing shit, podcast, communication, sales. I could do this, open up business. I love to do this. I just love doing things like this, But it's not until you actually come into your true self that you won't know until what you want to do. I don't know what I want to do until I experience certain things. I don't know certain people until I travel. I don't know certain things are possible until I start speaking about it. You start interacting with other people who have the same situation as you or who went through the same thing. It's possible to overcome. It's possible to do things that you always dreamed about because other people are doing it. What's possible for one person is possible for you. So when I tell people all the time, at one point, I felt like I was ugly. Now everybody love me. I felt like at one point I was fucked up. Now I'm able to do things that I always dreamed about. I feel like at one point I couldn't buy no real estate. Now I got multiple properties. I feel like I couldn't open no businesses. Now I have multiple. It's just certain things that I was telling myself at one point that I didn't think that was possible until I really started acting as if. I acted as if as a successful businessman. I acted as if I already had real estate. I was killing people in Monopoly. And sometimes people beat my ass in Monopoly too. But the fact of the matter is I was very dominant already in the Monopoly game. Like the whole game, I was really dominant in this game. Chess, I was really dominant. Tennis, really dominant. So you see the livelihood of how I kind of portray my life. I kind of have that solo dolo, I'm going to achieve all my goals lifestyle, but it's not always like that for me. Like I love working with people. I love just being partners with people. And that became a maturity because at the end of the day, we all want to hit the top, but you're not going to hit the top by yourself because I may know one person who's going to plug me in with it. So it's always somebody you're going to need. So that's why I always treat people with respect. I always treat people with integrity. I always treat people with transparency because I know how it feels to be lied to. I know how it feels to be finessed. I know how it feels to have everything done wrong to you because I've been on that short end of the stick. But I learned that over time, the only thing that could happen is that you just learn from experiences and you just grow from it. You either grow from it or you sit in shit, and shit stinks, and I don't want to sit in shit. You feel me? So most importantly, guys, it's a different month. It's April, you guys. It's the start of new beginnings. I told you guys that all the time. But it's also a way for you to understand, like, the things that you want out in life is possible for you if you just believe in it. I believe I'm capable of a lot more than what you guys are hearing about. I believe that my status will be billionaire eventually. I believe that I will be one of the youngest real estate developers who are doing multi-million-dollar deals. I believe that this podcast is going to sooner or later get a brand endorsement deal that's going to be paying me millions of dollars. Like, I don't know how shit going to pop off. I just know I'm never not the one to, like, oppose it. You get me? And I want you guys to think big. I want you guys to think $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, $60,000 a week because people are doing these things. You shouldn't just sit on the money that you make per month and be okay with that. You shouldn't be comfortable with the lifestyle you have if you're not okay with it. I have certain homeboys who I tell them all the time, the only person who's going to change this is you, bro. Like, no one's coming to save you. Like, no one ever saves people nowadays. And if people are here supporting you still through all your dreams, through all your actions, through all your trials and tribulations, you embrace those people because certain people like that, they're rare. They don't come around. I'm rare. I embrace everybody because I'm a rare breed, and I understand like the value I hold is far more superior than money and just love, because it's just the foundation of my loyalty and my transparency and my honesty and my gratitude that I give to everybody, that people eventually just understand, like, bro, this nigga's a cool fuck. Like, this nigga's cool as fuck. You feel me? It's a cool cat. So like I tell you guys all the time, chase your dreams, believe in yourself, understand that you could reinvent yourself, understand that you could metamorphosize into a whole different person. Because people, I hate to say this, but people be trying to remind me of my past, and I'm like, bro, I could have really did you in just now, but I'm not even that type of person. The old me, yeah, I would have did you in, but now I don't really care. I don't really care to just give people what they want to hear. I don't really care to like make people feel what I got going on is real. Like, I don't really care. So when people come around me and they understand the level of honesty, the level of bluntness, the level of loyalty and love that I have to offer is rare. Sometimes people embrace it. Sometimes people try to take advantage of it. But now, you guys, the whole theory of everything is once you go through certain things in life, it's easy to cut through the bullshit. And I need you guys to understand that. You cut through the bullshit, you get straight to the gold. You get me? So I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Business Podcast. This was just like a rant. I went through several scenarios, stories over these last couple of weeks. So I just want to dump everything on you guys because I rarely make podcast episodes because I'm always on the run. But when I do, I try to give you guys a good story. I try to give you guys a good visualization of what's going on in my life. And I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, like, dead ass. Like, I appreciate everybody who listens to my podcast because I've been doing this for like 2.5 years, and I don't pub my podcast. I don't publicize it. I don't market it. I don't make no ads. I don't make no flyers for it. I don't make no YouTube channel for it. I mean, I have 1 or 2 videos, but I don't really do how I'm supposed to do. And it's not that I don't want to be in the spotlight. It's just that I feel like whoever finds the podcast is meant for you. If you ran across this podcast, if you ran across these episodes and you was able to like learn from something, or you was able to like, like I said, take something from a grain of salt, that's all I wanted to achieve. I was able to inspire somebody through a mic. I was able to inspire somebody through my words, through my vision, through my intellect. And that's the only thing that I have that I want to offer out in this life. So once again, man, I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Business Podcast. It's been an amazing journey. Stay tuned for the other episodes, man. If you guys haven't already, be sure to sign up for my real estate mentorship class. The class is sold out, but we will have some more coming up. But this first group of cohort people, I'm about to go all in. I'm about to give them all the knowledge. So they're gonna come out beast out of my real estate mentorship program. So watch out for that, you guys. Follow me, billionaire_moist. And it's like I said, keep chasing your dreams. Once again, guys, take care.